Hi guys, this is Jake at Canadian Cutting Edge, and you saw in the thumbnail what this video was about, but I haven't seen it yet. Well, I'm going to start this video with an unpacking, and then I'm going to play with the thing for a week or two or three, and then we'll get to the rest of the video, and we'll put it all into one release. So to unpack this thing, I decided to grab something big. This is my Rake knife. Big fixed blade that I got from them. This is the F118G, black and green handle. This thing is super comfortable, and we'll use this to open this package. This was sent to me through Massdrop. That's where I bought it. And one cool thing about Massdrop is I have yet to have any Massdrop packages inspected by CBSA. For my Canadian friends, that's excuse me, that's our Canada Border Services Agency, who's getting very, very restrictive on folding knives that are totally legal according to our criminal code, and yet they're stopping them. But this is my first Rike knife. So Rake, and R-I-K-E is how the name is spelled, Rike knife. And I ordered this through Massdrop because I was very interested in it when I saw it. This is one of their mini knives. This is the Hummingbird. A really interesting thing. We've got a chain. We've got a Kydex sheath or holder for a folding knife. So you can turn this little folder into a neck knife. And there you go. Not very big at all. And it's a flipper. Flips very well. And this is well, it's supposed to look a bit like a hummingbird wing right there. Green. Don't tell my wife, this is her birthday present. I got it a little bit early because you get the things when you can. We've got a Damascus blade, frame lock knife, and her birthday's in July, but she never watches my channel, so no worries there. And I'll do a review of this guy if you stay tuned. And I will put a link below to anywhere that you can buy them. I'll put a link also to Massdrop, and then you can get on from there. It's got a tiny little hole back here, so you can put some kind of lanyard system on it. It has a pocket clip, a flipper tab, a full flat grind here, and it's a frame lock. So stay tuned for the rest of the review of this Rake Hummingbird. Coming at you right now. Yep, this thing is tiny. There's a big pen. Check this out. A pen cap is the same length as the knife is. Too far away? Oh, sorry about that. Okay, now I'm really close. My thumb just about will touch the lens if I simply do this. And that's how close the camera is. I can't get any closer and fit my hands underneath here, so, you got what you got. That's how tiny this knife is. This is a regular Bic pen, which most people around the world know about. So we've got a green anodized. It comes in 4 colors. I'll show you a picture of those. This is Damasteel, so you got that nice Damasteel finish. I don't know the names of all the different patterns they have for the Damasteel, but check that out. Isn't that a nice looking pattern? I like it. I'll give you a close-up on my USB microscope so you can take a good look at that. I can actually see the reflection of the camera in the steel. Wow. So, yeah, it's very shiny, nice finish, nice drop point blade, nice belly here. The whole blade's got belly, a nice little sharpener's choil. A little bit of jimping right there. Pocket clip is one side only. You can't really put it on the other side because it's kind of milled into the handle right there where it's going to sit. one screw to hold it on, and it's a nice light pocket clip, actually functional, very nice. And you can clearly see on this knife the lock bar insert. And lockup is early, just like you want a brand new knife to be. Very good for that. And alignment is perfect when it's closed. You've got a little bit of blue steel back here, and it's got a tiny hole in it. And that's good for this little split ring that comes with the knife. So if you want to use a split ring back here and carry it that way on a keychain or something, which I wouldn't do. I don't want to get this thing scratched up. Well, it's not really mine. It's going to be my wife's, but I wouldn't want to get it scratched up or anything. But, you know, so that's how I would not carry it. I might recommend to her to carry it as a neck knife, it's not the best looking neck jewelry because of the Kydex sheath here. I wish they would have spent a little bit more money and got a Kydex that has a really nice pattern on it or something, or some really nice color other than just black. That would have been a nice touch. A nice gray with a simple pattern or something would have been really nice, and that would suit all the 4 different colors, I would think. In the pivot right there, you've got the RK for Rake knives. And the flipper tab works well. You have ceramic ball bearings in here. And no, I'm not going to take this knife apart since it's going to be my wife's. I don't want to risk any damage at all to any of the screws. Sorry, it's just the way it is. The manufacturer says that it is ceramic ball bearings in there. One thing I'm a little bit disappointed in, and you can see, is that you can see the detent right there, the detent hole in the blade. Let's see if I can get the light just right. There you go. And I wish that was not visible. If they would have made it just a bit, the handle could be just a slight bit larger to cover that up. Would have been a nice touch. This looks really nice with the milled out holes there for that wing. It almost looks like, you know, sort of an aphid or a grasshopper or something instead of a hummingbird. Maybe it's because I chose the green. I don't know. I let my wife actually take a look at these, and she said she liked the green, so that's one of the reasons why I picked the green. You've got nice details on the blade and everything. Damasteel comes in at about 58 to 59 Rockwell hardness. Let's give you all the different dimensions on this and everything before I forget to do that. So here's the dimensions. Cutting edge, 4 centimeters. That's 1.57 inches. The length of the blade to the handle is the same. The blade thickness is 2.3 millimeters. That's 0.09 inches. The blade depth, so that's from the spine to the handle, cutting edge right there, that distance, 1.57 centimeters, which is 0.619 inches. The thickness of the edge behind the grind, so that tiny little silver section before you can see the details on the Damasteel. How thick is the steel right there? 0.35 millimeters, which is 0.0135 inches. Nice and thin, just like you want to have on a tiny knife like this. The handle length, so the length of the handle, the titanium, 5.7 centimeters, that's 2.25 inches. The grip area, so that's inside here to the end of the handle right about there, is 4.45 centimeters, 1.75 inches. The handle thickness, that's this dimension, not counting where the pocket clip is, so right up here. This is 8.3 millimeters, which is 0.328 inches. And then the handle depth, so that is the belly of the handle right here to the back, and I measured it right there across the widest section, is 1.36 centimeters. That's 0.535 inches. The total length of this knife, when the blade is deployed, so tip to tail, 9.5 centimeters, 3 3/4 inches. This one weighs 18 grams, which is 0.65 ounces. So that's 1 gram more than what the specs say, which, hey, nothing wrong with that. And then if you add in all of, this stuff and the Kydex and everything, and even this little split ring, you add everything together, 36 grams, 1.25 ounces. So there you go. Now I've got to zoom back out so I can show you the knife a bit more. So we've got a knife that looks really good and it feels really good in the hand and it's totally functional. The detent is really nice. Watch this. And you heard it suck it in. And it just looks really nice all over the place. And you can open it just this way if you want to by using that hole. And then you have to undo the lock. Or you can use the flipper tab. And it flips open very, very well. How much does this knife cost? Well, I paid at mass drop $74.99 US. And the very best price I can find, actually the average price I can find is twice that much. $150 at Blade HQ and a whole bunch of other places, twice as much as it was at mass drop. So I hope mass drop carries these again soon, because I will give you a link for it if they do, and I'll put that on my Facebook page if I notice that mass drop has this again, and I'll try to mention it on my YouTube channel as well. I did find, though, that Knife Center has this for $135 US. So I paid $75. You can pay $135 if you want to get it brand new. 4 different colors. I didn't find any Canadian prices. I didn't find any European prices. In the UK, you can get it for 135 pounds. And they had the all gray version on at Knife and Tools for 110 pounds. Knife and Tools had the other colors for 135. If I find more prices, I'll put them down below in the description area below the video. Unique features, it's tiny. It's made very well. Very high quality parts. Precision work on it, like milling out these little flourishes for those little lines in there. Putting the tiny little RK in the lanyard hole. Putting the little RK in the pivot pin on the outside there. The screws are really nice. Tiny little hole back here. It's just a beautiful little knife. Even this jimping back here. I can show you what it looks like in a pocket clip and how well it works in a pocket clip if you'd like. But, even on the pocket clip, they've got this little flourish milled in right there. It's a beautiful, beautiful knife. But, you can see already, it's so reflective. You can see the red. I've got a red case on my phone. You can see that in the blade. Very, very nice looking knife. And as you can see, it's Torx screws everywhere. Okay, so that's pretty much all I got for the video. What do I not like on this knife? There's one thing I don't like, and it's on the cheapest part of this knife set, and that's on this. And it's, you can see this chain on this side, and that's where the hook is on. The piece of chain on the left, the part that's inside that hook, that piece of chain is very, very poorly made. You can see it's got an odd shape to it right there. And you can see on the leftmost end of it right there, how it's just folded together. That little loop is going to come loose and the chain's going to fall apart. And I'm going to lose the knife or whoever's carrying it that way. So I don't trust this chain at all, just because of that end. So I will advise my wife to either get a different chain, or I'll get it for her, or I'll get her some other kind of way of carrying this if she wants to use the Kydex. I suspect she might use the Kydex. but have it without the chain at all, and just have it, no, keep putting it in the wrong way. Just have it like this with the Kydex in her purse, and that way, the head of it will be protected anyways, and it'll be a little bit easier to find in the bottom of her purse, being a little bit bigger that way. That's the only negative I have on it. This is a functional knife, and it's a good looking knife. And let's cut some paper and show you. This is from the factory. A lot of knives from the factory, if they're cheap knives, you can't cut paper straight down like that. And it's just a nice little knife that really cuts well. And it's small enough to take on a domestic flight within Canada. It just seems so moronic to me that if I took this knife across the border into Canada, a CBS agent would be authorized to take this from me. Isn't that crazy? Because it has a flipper tab right there. Flipper knives are totally legal in Canada, and I'm just beating a dead horse, I know. But right now, our Border Services Agency is taking away all knives that have flipper tabs or thumb studs if they are on your person when you cross the border. And on your person means in your vehicle as well. That equals on your person. So there you go. That's the knife. I like it. It's really cool. If you've never been at Massdrop, consider using my links below and joining Massdrop. Sometimes knives are like this, half price. Sometimes the knives at Massdrop cost more than they do in other places. And Massdrop has got, 1,020 different types of items. They not only have knives or EDC kind of stuff, they've got shoes, they've got fishing stuff, they've got housewares, they got jewelry, they got kitchenware, they got almost anything you can imagine. But of course, I focus on their knives and other EDC stuff. So there you go, the Rike Hummingbird. Thank you for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, all that other great stuff. And remember, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb.